How's everybody doing? What have you been doing to keep yourself busy? So even before this whole quarantine thing, I've always had a list of things that I've wanted to do on my phone, like quilting, learn how to use a sewing machine, watch certain movies. I spent a lot of time alone, obviously, so I was kind of ready for this and I knocked out a lot of things. Everything that's happening, I know it really sucks, but I think I'm really fortunate because I really needed this time, because before this I was spreading myself way too thin, just doing a lot of events, DJing a ton, and seeing a ton of people every day, and I really needed a break from that for a while to kind of gather my thoughts and get my stuff together and research music and do things I actually really like to do by myself. So yeah, I'm grateful for it. It's only been like 2 weeks and I know we have a ways to go, so maybe my opinion will change by then. But anyway, March was a very interesting month. I turned 32, I had my birthday. Yeah, a lot of things happened this month. At the beginning of the month, Urban Outfitters came and shot my home. I did an apartment tour. I started getting really motivated editing and working. I started doing a lot of ghostwriting jobs. I started writing a ton, reading a ton, and then also Into the Gloss, I did an article for the top shelfie thing. Yeah, it was really fun. I got to talk about my childhood and what I learned, or how I learned about makeup and the beauty industry and all that stuff. It was heavily edited, so a lot of it doesn't make sense. But I talked a lot about, in the original post, I talked about my childhood and my sisters and having, growing up in a family of mostly women, and just, I don't know, it's just really fun. I think the beauty industry is really fun, and it doesn't have to be competitive or catty or intimidating. It could also just be a lot of sharing and a sisterhood in a sense. In any case, I have some favorites here that I want to talk about, so I'm gonna get right into it. First thing I want to talk about, a bunch of my friends have been giving me their ceramics lately, and there are some pieces here that I absolutely love that I just want to share. This one is from Sarah Tramp. She's an interior design photographer, and she made this little pot thing, plant pot thing, and it's adorable. It's one of her first pieces, it's one of the originals, and she signed it with her actual handwritten signature, which is my favorite. It's my personal favorite when people sign it by hand. She put a little strawberry plant in it, so I'm trying to take care of it. I just really like it, it's adorable. This one is from Brennan Grow. This is hand built, so instead of using a wheel, it took a lot of patience, obviously. He put it all together and then did this pattern on it. I love it, and there's a little hole at the bottom so I can drain the plant if I need to, or when I overwater it and stuff. This is from Claudia Oten. The thing about this one, I'm gonna mansplain for a second here. The thing about this one is that she put some mason stain in it, and it took her 8 hours. I was there that day that she was mixing everything together, and it's kind of like you put a little bit of powder in, and then, so this is a stain, it's not a glaze. So yeah, you can see how it's like perfectly mixed in there. She literally put a powder that's this blue color and mixed it into the clay itself, and then, so it took an entire day to mix all these clays together. Hours and hours of work went into this piece right here. So I totally cherish it. My friend Kevin made this coffee table. It's in the shape of a butt, kind of. It's a very low coffee table. I got a lot of work done there on my computer. I read there, I scrap ideas. I just love the shape of this coffee table. I think it's so unique. And the crazy thing about Kevin Van is that he's not even a carpenter or a designer in that sense. He works on other things. Like when I first met him, he was a chef. I was working on e-commerce at Band of Outsiders, and he was doing textile. So he's seriously someone who's a true artist, like can switch to any different career and kind of excel at it. So he's been making or working on woodwork stuff for quite some time now, and he's just a natural. Everything he's made is just, so much thought has gone into it, and for him to give me that piece, I just love it so much. And someone actually, during their quarantine, made their version of that same table and used it as inspo, and I was just kind of blown away by it. I was really excited about it. I've been listening, I mean, I'm sure everyone has, right? Like, now is the time to indulge in, you know how like your parents, well, not your parents, but like my parents, when I was growing up, I wanted to be an artist. It doesn't matter. Like, to me, it didn't matter what it was. It didn't have to be a painter, like, or a musician or whatever. I just wanted to make art. And I remember my dad being like, that's not a lucrative thing, you know, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to find someone to like balance that. He just had no faith, right? And now that everyone's quarantined, you rely on these people who make movies, who make YouTube videos, and who write books and paint and all this stuff, and like musicians, you know? So I've been listening to so much music. I know I just went off on a crazy rant, but now that everyone's stuck at home and everyone has to be in isolation, everyone's relying on these artists, you know? So I've been listening to so much music and I've been thoroughly enjoying it, you know? Like everything sounds new, music just sounds so much better now. I've been listening to a lot of Weiss Blood. I know this album came out last year, but for some reason, Titanic Rising, when it came out, I didn't really listen to it, like I listened to it like maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I kind of put it away for a while, but then I finally brought it back out again this time around, and I completely indulged in this album. I just played it, I think 3 days in a row straight. Everything that I'm sharing right now is all within the same family, I would say. So Weiss Blood, a ton, and then also Jessica Pratt. So she's a little bit kind of witchy. Like if you like Joni Mitchell, I think you'd like these musicians. So she's kind of like a little bit nasally, a little bit witchy, folky, kind of like a gothic folk or freak folk. Just the last album that she came out, also last year when it came out, I didn't really connect with it, but this time around, for some reason, I'm totally indulging in it, and yeah, it sounds brand new and it just sounds so good. At the beginning of February, I went to this music video, or this video premiere thing for my friend Bridget. She shared this music video from this musician, Sharon Van Etten. The video is just like super captivating. I think they just did a really good job. I heard the song through the video. I didn't really pay attention much to the song, but it came on the other day on Spotify. So I've been listening to her catalog a ton, and damn, she is phenomenal. The sweater that I'm wearing is from this company called Entire World, and it's from Scott Sternberg, who used to own Band of Outsiders. Anyway, I got the sweater about a month and a half ago. I've been wearing it a ton. It's super soft. It's kind of like cropped. It's got a mock collar. I just think it's such a smart design. Like it looks like something out of a 70s movie or something like that. It's super comfy. They also make loungewear, so during this time, I'm sure they're blowing up. So obviously during this time, a lot of businesses shut down, and the coffee shop that I normally go to closed. And so it's been a couple Fridays since I've had a cup of coffee. I know I can make it at home, but actually right before, like a couple months right before this happened, my sister bought a house in Joshua Tree, and she needed to furnish it, and she needed kitchen stuff, and she needed coffee stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I get coffee outside every day anyway, so I'm probably not gonna need this. So I gave her all my coffee stuff. So now I can't even make coffee at home. I mean, I can. My dad sent me some instant coffee, so I can totally make it at home, but instead I've been drinking tea. And I know I've talked about this before because it's been in another favorites video before. I just love this company. But it's Mariage, and the tea is called Marco Polo. It says here, marvelous, fruity, and flowery black tea. Exactly what it is. It just tastes like you're drinking a cup of fruit, like warm fruit? I guess it doesn't sound so good, but it tastes so good. It smells amazing. It wakes you up. It's got the right amount of caffeine, so I haven't been getting migraines or anything like that. Oh, it's just so good. I just watched Mystery Train with Jim Jarmusch. It's been on my list for a while, and I really like Jim Jarmusch, but I haven't seen that movie. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's 3 separate stories, all based in Memphis, and they're all going to this hotel. And I like it because of the style, like what they wear, and then also the music is phenomenal. I really like that type of movie because it's not very high budget, and they were able to tell a story and make a great film out of it, you know? That's like when I was in school, no one had money, so you would have your friend's mom be an actor, or yeah, you just use very little, like with the very limited resources, you were able to create so much more. And I feel that's true now too, because oftentimes people are like, oh yeah, I would totally do XYZ if I had X amount of money, you know? But I feel like if you have very limited resources and you're still able to make it work, then that really tells you something about your creativity. Yeah, like when I was in school, we used to enter these competitions all the time, and the kids who won were the kids who weren't in school, who weren't spending a shit ton of money getting an education. They were just going out there and learning for themselves and doing research as they go, you know? And yeah, I thought that was really cool. I'm not saying like quit school, because obviously you learn a lot. I just think that when you don't have a lot of resources, you're forced to experiment in other ways or learn through other ways, and it makes a lot of people just more creative in a way. Let's finish off with some beauty stuff. So Glossier just came out with these Sky Wash things. They're matte eyeshadows, like matte liquid eyeshadows, and I've been really enjoying these two right here, the green and blue. I haven't worn them out in real life. I've only done the neutrals, but these are so fun. I can't wait to be able to wear them out. And I think they look better when you wear these and then you put like a thick, like a, not like an Amy Winehouse, but just like a thicker winged eyeliner beneath it. It could be like a contrasting color. Like I tried this with an electric blue eyeliner and I thought that looked really good. These with eyeliners, but on like an everyday basis, like when you're doing like a no makeup look, these colors are great. My favorite one is actually called Terra, which is almost like a lip color. I really like this so much. It blends out so nicely and it shows up on my skin tone because I have a more yellow skin tone. They're super user friendly. This is definitely something that I'd recommend to someone who has never, or who's not very interested in an eyeshadow. I would start here because it just makes everything a lot easier. You don't have to have a primer, you don't have to set it or anything like that. It just stays. You can make it look natural, you can build it up to make it look more intense. It's just fun. My skin has been so dry lately, so I've been using this face oil right here. This is from Naturium. This is a plant squalane face oil, 100% sugarcane derived squalane. This is a new company. I'm kind of testing it out right now, but so far I like it a lot. And they focus on face oils and serums. It's a very fuss-free, affordable brand. The packaging is very nice. It's just like good ingredients, minimal packaging. Yeah, definitely check out this brand if you're getting into skincare and you want to kind of pinpoint certain needs. I think the brand that's the most similar to is The Ordinary. This company, Billy, I think they're mostly known for their razors. They just came out with a bunch of new stuff like a dry shampoo and wipes and stuff, but they came out with these super salves. This one is in fig. It's like a berry color. These are great and they're so affordable and they remind me of the sugar lip scrubs or the sugar lip treatments, you know? Those are great, but I plow through them and they're super expensive and the packaging is so unnecessary because it's a very nice weighted packaging. This is great because it reminds me of when I used to read 17 magazine and I used to collect a ton of different flavors of lip balm, and yeah, it's just nice. And it's in a packaging that kind of resembles a lipstick, so it's a bit more adult in a way. It's not like a very pigmented color deposit, but it's just enough. Ooh, so a couple months ago, Camilla did an art show. There was this brand that was there called Breda, and they're a watch company. And anyway, I went around and I was looking at the watches for a very long time because they had some really cute watches. And one of the girls who worked for the company actually sent me a watch. Yeah, I was hella stoked because I really liked the watch when I was there and I was really considering it. I'm like, do I wear watches that often though? I was just like thinking back and forth and then she actually reached out. So yeah, so this is from Breda. It's just such a classy watch. It reminds me of something my mom would wear. Every time I have it on, I look down at my wrist and I'm like, ooh, it's so cute, you know? So those are my favorites for the month of March. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you guys have any recommendations for me, please let me know. What are you guys doing to keep yourself entertained? What have you been watching? What has been inspiring you? What have you been learning about yourself? I really want to know. All right, I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.